Welcome, ladies and nerds, to the first ever Last Word on Project Nerd. First ever, as in terms of we have a few kinks to work out there too, but we got some microphones going. I am Iggy. I am your host, and this is The Last Word, a brand new podcast from Project Nerd, to where we are going to put 4 contestants against each other until one is left standing, and they get, well, the last word. So, without further ado, let's meet our contestants for the first episode. Let's head in order here. So, representing Sarah Marie Spectrum, we have Sarah.
Hello, everyone. It is me, Sarah Marie Spectrum. Yes.
And West Coast Boroughs, Loni.
Hey, you guys. I'm here in LA, so welcome to LA, too. So I'll be representing, I guess, West Coast, right? Am I the only West Coaster here?
You are. We have Noah from Noah Smith Images.
Noah, Midwest.
And our preseason champion, Jay from High Five the Podcast.
I'm bringing in the belt and I'm taking it home.
Awesome. So
That's how I win the belt.
The rules are simple.
No, I bought the belt. I bought it for myself and I kept it.
All right. The rules are simple. We're going to ask 2 questions each of the first 2 rounds. At the end of each round, a person is eliminated. In the final round, it is 1 question, which is 2 contestants remaining, and they will compete, as we said, for the last word. Here's the kicker. I'm giving out the points, and your answer could be by the book, but I really don't care. If I like the answer, you get points. If I like something else going on in that round, you get points. If I dislike something going on in that round or your answer, you don't get points, or I may even take away points. So the point system is Iggy based. Bribes are welcome.
You're beautiful tonight, Iggy.
Thank you. I was looking for something like that. Let me actually very unprofessionally get a scoreboard going here so I don't lose track. All right.
You know, it's okay. Everyone does this. It's great. You're doing great, Iggy.
Thank you, sir. All right.
So
are we ready for round 1?
Yeah.
Let's head to round 1. All right. Round 1's first question has to do with the big game. The big game that y'all were worried about talking. It's sports related, but we're not talking about the big game. And although I'm sure all the sports fans are excited for this one, we're more excited for the commercials, specifically the movie trailers. Now, 2020 was rough for movies, obviously, so we're going to probably have a number of movie trailers premiering in and around Super Bowl weekend, big game weekend, excuse me. And I know we've already seen a number of trailers coming out, but a lot of new movies around the corner. So first question, what movie trailers are going to premiere and what one are you most looking forward to? Let's start with West Coast Boroughs.
I'm really excited. I think I was checking out. I'm a huge Ghostbusters fan. So I know that there is Ghostbusters Afterlife coming out. And I saw a little bit of a trailer. I'm hoping that they'll actually reveal more. But it seems like a really cool, like a new revamp, kind of like a reboot of, kind of taking from the 80s, Ghostbusters vibes and everything, but bringing it just like to where we are now. And it's like this weird old town vibe where like they take over like an old haunted house or something, and they find all the cool Ghostbusters gear in it. So I'm really psyched about that. I think that's where my heart always lies, in 80s and 90s flicks. Definitely Ghostbusters is like my life. So I vote Ghostbusters Afterlife.
All right. I think we're due for a trailer. We've had one little teaser, and it would definitely be there. Noah, what are you thinking in terms of movie trailers?
Now, I don't know where they're going. Since we haven't been to a theater for a bit, but I did some research and I found a lot of theaters actually aren't going to do a whole bunch. I'm excited for the Disney Plus ones. They said they were going to drop anywhere from 2 to 4 actually. So I'm going to assume that's Loki. The Falcon series. So I'm actually very, very excited for those ones actually. So, but I didn't see a whole lot. A lot of people are kind of stepping back since we don't want to premiere too many movies because we don't know when we'll be back in theaters yet. So
it's very, very fair.
Say, I'm actually 2 more things. I'm more excited about the Puppy Bowl. It's going on this year, and
okay,
I'll be the first person to say it. Go Chiefs.
Go Chiefs. All right. Sarah, what movie trailer are you looking forward to?
I mean, I was secretly hoping they'd put another Black Widow in before because they postponed it. But I actually am excited for the food commercials. I know that's not the movie. I know they're supposed to do a really cute Pringles one, and I'm really excited about it because I really like Pringles, and I hope there's new flavors this year because that's going to get me through 2021.
Okay. Jay, what about you?
I'm kind of in the same boat as Noah, as you know, most of the trailers that I could even think to name have been pulled back, but I do think I heard a rumor there might be a Cloverfield Paradox drop. We could watch the movie after. No, but I do want to watch the Cloverfield Paradox again.
Good reference for last year's game there. Awesome. So I don't know. There's a lot of trailers out there to look forward to, and you barely covered any. But Noah, you might have brought up a good point, and good job on doing the research. Maybe they will pull back a little bit on the trailers, especially since that's going out there. All right. Sorry, Sarah, you didn't answer the question. You didn't give us a movie trailer. So 0 points for Sarah. Jay and Noah's getting a point for answer. West Coast Boroughs, you get 2 points for dropping the Reitman bomb on us. Got to give us some Jason Reitman movie there.
Live, dude.
All right. I know. Appreciated heavily. So after first question, you're in the lead. Awesome. All right. Well, let's talk a little bit about Marvel. Actually, writer and director Ryan Coogler has signed a 5-year movie and TV deal with Disney and Disney Plus for his production company. It includes obviously the planned Black Panther sequel, but now we're also knowing that a Wakanda series is coming to Disney Plus. With the untimely passing of Chadwick Boseman this past year and Disney promising not to replace him as Black Panther, what does this much attention around Wakanda look like going forward? Are we following his siblings? Are we going back in time? Are we going ahead in time? What do you think we're going to see with Wakanda here? Noah, let's start with you on this one.
Okay, so, and this is top tier goals. I mean, we had this one guy in charge of kind of all of it, the big screen, and the smaller screen. I'm hoping kind of, the big screen is, the bigger villains, the bigger story arcs that you can't encompass in a series or something. And then Disney, I hope then on the Disney side, I have to do kind of either kind of a history to it, kind of, so, through the years of Black Panther, and then they can potentially lead up to the second Black Panther, and then kind of also then end it if there's any loose ends that the audience feels that should have been wrapped up, but the movie just couldn't quite do. But I think if you're the guy in charge of both, you can literally have a streamlined story and be like, okay, we're gonna build it a little bit here, big movie, and then we can tie that that random loose end that that the fans want to see. So if I was in control of that'd be amazing that he has that much power over a story.
All right. So Noah's thinking prequel and all the little loose ends in between the movies. Okay. Sarah, what about you?
I hope they go the route of it's not Fear the Walking Dead, but there's one more show that just came out where it followed people separate in the world. I think it's a bunch of teenagers that grew up after the thing.
I remember that. I don't remember the name though.
I don't remember the name, but I've watched the pilot, but yeah, it's set they're after the whole thing happened and they're growing up as that. And I think it's gonna probably be separate casts, maybe I'm hoping smaller people in the thing. And that we get to follow them around and see more of Wakanda, the actual culture and aspects of that versus the whole monarchy and everything in the overall picture. But I hope it's just more a small village or something like that.
Okay. So Sarah's thinking, let's get outside of the immediate family bubble and move on. We might be limiting on answers, so repetitive answers, but with other explanations are also welcome here. Jay, how about you?
So my big introduction to Black Panther mythos were the MCU movies. I wasn't the biggest comic reader of that particular line growing up. So for me, looking at the characters that exist right now, I would love to pick up and just follow Shuri. I think that would be in my ideal world, it would honestly be handing her the mantle, but because she's so young and thrust into it because of whatever reason, then she has the warrior women around that are training her, and it's sort of like a coming into power type of story. And I think that would be really, really cool. I think the thing that makes me the most excited is that Coogler's behind all of it, because I'm going to give props to Noah on this one. a singular vision behind what he's already created is the only way in my mind this works. It's, it's kind of, it'd be like, with all the Game of Thrones spinoffs that are coming up, if no one involved in the first Game of Thrones was even touching these other series, it would make me a little uncomfortable. So it's the same type of thing here. I would love if the Wakanda series were a flashback and it showed the evolution of their technology and how they built it while hiding from civilization. That would be the show I would watch. The movie I would watch would be Shuri's coming to power as the Black Panther.
All right. Let's head out west. West Coast Boroughs. What are you thinking for this Wakanda series and movie?
I agree with Jay. Coogler is so good at making and reimagining things. He did Creed, and I love Creed and that whole idea of just like that whole boxing story. And if we were to take that into the Wakanda world, I do think that they're going to have to visit all these other people and sort of focus and pivot that way. So I absolutely agree with Jay and Sarah. Actually, I do think that it's a lot of pressure. Kind of reimagining this because he's gone. And I think he's going to kick ass. So I do agree with that. I think that that's the world. I love the flashback thing. I think that's a really great idea. I didn't even think about that. So fire. That's fire.
Awesome. So great all around answers on this one. And I do think some good points to mention out for Jay. I kind of like what you're saying with Shuri being surrounded, because we also have to remember in the first Black Panther, there is no more of the flower that gives the power. Not to mention that Shuri would be a perfect Ironheart for those that are familiar with the Marvel comics. So
I heard someone mention that, and I don't know enough about that to speak to it, but okay. I have heard other people say, so I will agree with that.
So Ironheart is a young person of color in the comics who takes on basically the Iron Man armor after Tony Stark. So that's why kind of Shuri would be a good fit with being so techie herself. So
yeah.
All right. Points all around there for that round. That's going to leave us with at the end of round one with 3 points for West Coast Boroughs, 2 points apiece for Jay and Noah and Sarah. I love food as well. Food commercials are I've got food right here. I've got it. But we were looking for movie trailers there. So womp, womp, womp. So Sarah, I'm sorry, but you are eliminated from the last word. We will move on to round 2 with the other 3 contestants. Sarah will stand by to make fun of them, hopefully. But round 2 also has 2 questions. Points still in play here. So that's right. You're coming into this round with your points. So West Coast Boroughs just a point ahead as we get started. So question 1, we'll start with Jay this time around. But, actually, it didn't last long at all. Less than 18 months after launching Stadia, Google is ending its exclusive game development initiatives and closing 2 internal studios. This will close both their development houses in LA and Montreal, and it'll impact more than 150 employees. Good on Google for trying to find other homes for those 150 employees, but it halts any games already in development and stops any future development. So to make this clear, Stadia will stick around, but there's no game development from Google. So with Stadia being there, having no system, no exclusives, no internal development, what's left in the tank? What are we going to see from Stadia going forward? And more importantly, how much is left until Google shuts down the whole thing? Jay?
So this one's a little outside of my personal experience bubble, but I am a big fan of the idea and the concept of cloud gaming and what Stadia was. So here's what I truly think is going to happen. Knowing Google, mentioning Google Wave and Google many other products, Google loves to shut shit down, even good shit. They love to do it. Man, they're probably shutting me down right now for saying it somehow, but they love it. So they were going to shut Stadia down eventually. What I think is going to happen is I think someone like Bezos, who may be looking for something to do later this year, or somebody else is just going to buy it and have it be its own thing. Like, I think that the idea is good enough. It's kind of like the Oculus before the Oculus got its really VC funding. Like, this is a good idea, and it just needs someone that doesn't have 1,000 other things going on. Hey, Alphabet, all 27 letters of you, to really focus on it. And when it finds that person or entity or force, then it will have some version of success in this life or the next.
All right. So you think it's going to
So
find
say
second
it,
life?
Jay.
So say it, Jay. It's going to find second life, although he has been shut down by Google. All right, West Coast Boroughs, what about you? What's happening with Stadia?
I think, Jay, I think you're being really positive right now, and I really appreciate your positivity in early 2021. But I'm honestly going to say I think that they're just pivoting. They're going to probably form a partnership with someone else to kind of restabilize. I think I read that it was like 400 games were in the works in November of 2020, and the percentage of how far they were actually like almost completed. So I think they're going to have to round those out and finish those up just to kind of make up what they're going to lose. I mean, there were so many employees that were laid off. I just think, I don't know. I think that they're going to be very service ended, maybe just work as sort of like a secondary support, but they're not going to have the creativity or have that sort of leap of faith that you're giving them for now. I just think with COVID and everything, I just think it's going to take, I don't know, maybe another year. And I don't know how long it's going to last. And if, like you said, if Google's going to even be able to hold on that long. So yeah, but good for you for your positivity for it.
Wow. First starts before we recording by saying what questions were prepared and then drops in the research knowledge. There you go. All right, Noah, what do you got for us on Stadia?
All right. Well, to continue off, Jay, Google Plus. Yeah, that's one.
Well, thank you. Right?
They had that around way too long, and I was working with them. They're like, "Yeah, we're gonna cut it off in a month, year, 2 years, 3 years." It was still around. We're like, I thought you were killing it, but no.
Well, no, we're changing it into communities now. No, you're not.
But, I think as a concept, it's not going to do well because, as stated, they have too much on their plate. But I like them for continuously trying new things, even though they're gonna fail, even though they're probably going to fail. I think to have done this properly, since they didn't have their own games as much, they should have looked up to Kickstarters, other people developing games and trying about rights. Looked at all games. Do you know what I would pay money to bring back the original Duke Nukem, KKND, Donkey Kong Racing? Like I would go legit old school, and and I'm not a developer. There's little developing since it's there, and it's just updating it. So, but I wish they would. I like the concept, but yeah, I think they'll limp along for as long as a Google app can limp along before it's either bought or it's broken down into something else. Yeah. I'm gonna guess someone at Google's going to have a very specific vision, and it will be transformed into something else entirely. Probably, well, like Google. So Google Gaming, Google GG, Google like something. It'll be Google something because they have to incorporate themselves into everything.
Right. All right. Points all around for everybody. The bonus point obviously determines on when they close or if they close, because we don't know if any one of y'all were right on the guess. So it'll be a while for that. So maybe in a year from now, I'll message one of you and tell you got your bonus point. We'll see.
Sweet. I hope it's me. I hope it's me.
Awesome. Question 2 for round 2, which what is Q doing with the board? All right. Here we are 4 years later, and we're still talking the Snyder Cut with Justice League. Actually, we're talking about it more than ever because we do have that date now. You guys excited for March 18th on HBO Max, Snyder Cut. But they haven't even released it yet. And we're already talking about a black and white version. Tell me, are you guys tired of the Snyder Cut conversation, or do you think he deserves to show us his masterpiece? Let's start with you this time.
Now, if you know me, I am a DC fanboy all the way, and I will acknowledge they have messed up along the way, but I will still appreciate their efforts every step of the way. I don't think it's played out. It's not played out until it's released. Again, it's not an easy thing to have him remake everything, have to reshoot everything. Like it's not like you can just go back to the back room, recut it, and be like, oh, here's a 4-hour film I just had in the back already cut. They didn't like it, It's like a lot of this is recuts. It's going to be very different. We've already seen some images that look phenomenal and look dramatically different from what the final cut was. But I don't think it's played out at all. I think it's going to be fabulous. I am going to have so many breaks, so many snack breaks during a 4-hour, but it is going to be worth it, I think, because it's his vision. It's having no other fingers in the pie. It's his vision. It's what he wants to do. it's what we should have more of, because everyone wants to have their voice into it, like, in everything. It's like you have one idea, but then you have 12 more ideas poking into it, and it changes. I think having an original idea is going to be dramatically different, and if done well, which in DC terms nothing does well, unfortunately, but if done well, it's going to bring about kind of not quite a beacon, but more things in the future like this. Like, you have this cut, but then you have the director's cut, so we're going to see more of that, I think.
Some honesty in the end there from Noah. All right, West Coast Boroughs, what about you? What are you thinking on the Snyder Cut?
You know what makes me think of is like anything that is an opportunity, like to wait on something and you kind of obsess over it. And when the fans are asking for it, it's like The Sopranos when you had to wait for like the final season that took forever, or Game of Thrones when you're like, oh my God, like this shit is taking forever to come out. I think it's the same thing. It's a hype. And I think that, you want to see it. You want to see that expression, that artistic interpretation, and see the way that he wanted to do it, the way that his vision was sort of imagined. So I think it's going to be a great one. I think I'm positive for it. I know it's supposed to be 4 hours, I believe, right? So, I mean, it's pretty heavy, man. So I think, and they were talking about more Cyborg and Flash. And I think it was just like, I want to see another weird appearance of the Joker and all that. I'm excited. I'm amped. I just want to see how it works out. So yeah, I'm into it.
All right, Jay, what about you?
All right, I'm gonna be a little all over the map on this one.
Okay.
I don't know if I want Zack Snyder to have his vision, because I've seen his vision and it looks like Sucker Punch, and like that's where no hands are in his pie, and that's I don't know. But here's the thing. To your question, I am extremely intrigued and excited about the Snyder Cut of Justice League for a couple reasons. One, just historically, I can't think of another movie where this has ever happened. Like we've had director cuts or producer cuts or editing room floor cuts or Blu-ray cuts or golden room floor, but it's always the same movie with maybe like 3 extra scenes. This is a legit different film.
Totally.
From a dude who made this movie 2 years ago and didn't really get to make this movie. So for me, the idea of this happening at all is amazing. Like, I just want to see what happens. I do not think the constant hype is great, because I don't think it can live up to it. Like, okay, you used air quotes around when you said masterpiece, and I couldn't agree with you more. Like, I don't know. That's where I land, is that, do I want this to be good and enjoyable? Yes. Will it be better than the first one? It has to be. There's no way it can be worse than the original, just the Joss Whedon spearheaded one. It's just not possible to be worse than that. So whatever it is, I'm going to be like, yeah, it's better than that thing, but it's not going to be like, hey, look, Infinity War.
It's fair. It's fair. Round 2 is pretty mellow. Points all around again here. So I agree for the most part. I'm not happy about it. But I'll let Noah's answer stand on there, and the hype and the excitement's getting, because I agree for the most part. Over time, this is built up. Now I'm intrigued to see it. I'm kind of eager to see what's going on with it. So,
and I just learned today that Martian Manhunter will be in there, but he's all CGI. So I'm worried and nervous about how that's going to look. But
see, this is what I'm talking about.
There you go. So, all right.
Sucker Punch.
At the end of round 2, West Coast Boroughs is heading into our finals with 5 points. Jay and Noah, y'all are tied at 4 points. So it's time for a walk-off. It's time for a walk-off. All right, gentlemen. What should the tiebreaker be? Closest number to how many pairs of shoes I own is moving on. Jay, Noah, how many pairs of shoes do I own?
37.
14.
You don't think. I don't know how many pairs of shoes I own.
Jay was right. Jay was closer. 28. So Jay was within 9. So Noah, you were eliminated in our test one by a tiebreaker too. So
yeah.
You're gonna have to come visit at some point so we can get more familiar with each other again.
These are really, really personal. These are really personal questions.
Hey, I'm the host. I get to decide the question.
Okay.
Wait, did you get rid of 9 pairs of shoes? The last time I was in your closet, it was 37.
Oh, well, that's where those 9 pairs went the last time you were in my closet, because I didn't know you were there. All right. That's it for round 2. Noah, thank you, sir. But we're heading into the last round with West Coast Boroughs and Jay. The last round. This is the part. There it is.
There it is.
So big props. I'll give them some shout out at the end again, but Q is running our board, and thank you, sir. But we are to the last round. Round 3, points are reset. So we're back to even 0, and we have just one question to decide our champion here. All right. Are y'all ready for it?
Yeah.
Question 1. You know what? We're going to stay in DC. Before it even landed, James Gunn's Suicide Squad got an HBO Max spinoff. And of all the characters it could have been, it was John Cena's Peacemaker, which I don't know. Maybe excited, maybe not excited. I don't know. But they did just announce a couple new people to it. The Walking Dead's Elizabeth Faith, Lulo, and Goliath's Rizwan Manji. But let's not talk about that, because we've talked DCEU, we've talked MCU, we've talked Wakanda, we've talked Peacemaker. We have a lot of characters that have been introduced in both these universes. Which one that doesn't have their own series or movie, we could say movie, who deserves the spinoff the most, who hasn't appeared in their own project? Jay, you came in behind, so we'll start with you.
All right, that's fair. Well, my original answer would have been Moon Knight, because I love the character of Moon Knight, but he is getting his own show. So Oscar Isaac coming on, makes my heart very happy. I'm fluttering. I'm fluttering just thinking about it. But the one that doesn't have it is not really introduced. And if you actually listen to, we have an episode on High Five, the podcast about this, but who I want to get their own movie is Clayface, the DC villain Clayface. Because let me pitch it. Here's the idea. Right. What I want to happen is, because he can change his appearance, it's almost like a Possession-esque movie where different actors can play him throughout the film. So you could have, Idris Elba in a scene or two as he's attempting to do one sort of goal, or Anne Hathaway or Alicia Silverstone in another scene accomplishing another goal. Like, whatever it is, he can change into anything. So you can build a movie around that mystery. And I think Clayface would be a killer spinoff movie.
All right. Well, that was some interesting actors and actresses you chose there for the roles.
Why not?
But Clayface counts because Clayface is in the Harley Quinn animated series, so has made an appearance on screen.
That's right. And Alan Tudyk as him in that series. Give him all the Emmys.
There you go. It's gold. All right. West Coast Boroughs, what's your response? Who do you want to see get their own series or movie?
I live for anti-heroes. And I think that thinking really just like quickly, I'm not as inept, I believe. I don't think I'm as in deep the same way. I think the Enchantress, I really like her. I really like her storyline. And talking about evil entities, it's funny that you brought that up, because that's kind of the same vibe I want. I think I really like her design style. It's very old school, very kind of I'm really into cultural stuff. So I really like sort of like some of the imagery you can see in the storyline. I mean, that's where I really enjoy her sort of aesthetic and her vibe. So that's where I would go. I know she's not really a part of the team per se.
And I know we're competing, West Coast Boroughs, but I'm going to give you some props on this one, because for the simple reason that I think Enchantress deserves better than Cara Delevingne. Agreed. What they did with her in Suicide Squad.
I absolutely agree with you.
She deserves better than that. And so I would be okay with that as a redo, kind of someone like on the DC going mulligan and like trying again.
Yeah. And I agree.
Jack Enhancer's here.
You know what? I may be competing, but that's a damn good answer. And that's
I love magical evil things, anti-hero stuff. I love that. And I agree with you. I think that if they were to remake that or redo that and reinterpret it in a better way, I really even think I saw like different variations and versions that they really wanted that didn't happen. And so re-seeing that and reimagining that, I would be really excited about something like that, honestly.
Right. Release the Ayer cut, right? There you go.
Yes.
So there you go. That's what Noah wanted to. All right. Well, I mean, Jay, you even handed it over there. I think West Coast Boroughs gets the win here. I agree.
Really?
Enchantress,
Guys.
better than Clayface. Well, our first ever last word champion representing the West Coast.
Thanks, guys.
All
West Coast
right.
forever.
So you get the last word. So what that means is we're going to give you 30 seconds of stage time,
Oh.
and you get the last word.
All right, guys. So check me out. Is it 30 seconds start now, guys?
Starting, yeah, sure.
All right, cool. I don't know because I just saw the Q just dropped in the last word. Anyways, so check out my website, westcoastboroughs.com. I'm a mixed media artist, so check me out. I also have my own podcast called First Among Equals Podcast on YouTube. And it's basically covering people who do what they love and love what they do. So I sit down with people that are just really excited about and passionate about what they do. And that's it, westcoastboroughs.com. You can check me out on Instagram. That's my handle as well. So that's it. Thanks, guys. It was really fun. Cheers.
Awesome. Well, congratulations to our first ever champion. And yes, check out westcoastboroughs.com. Also, obviously, Jay with High Five the podcast, Noah Smith Images, and Sarah with Sarah Marie Spectrum. Great group. And as we've dropped his name a few times, thank you, Q, for running the board and directing the episode.
Get out of here. Get out of here.
Those that don't know, he did spill water on the keyboard. That was the reason for our round 2 glitches.
Get out of here. Get out.
Awesome. All right, folks, this was great. This was fun. I thought you all did a great job. Thank you again for all jumping on board. Obviously, if you have a brand and you'd like to sponsor our rounds, our episode as a whole, or any of the other podcasts on the Project Nerd Podcast Network, reach out to Project Nerd on any of our social media channels or at info@projectnerd.com. And remember, the last word is part of the Project Nerd Podcast Network, one of many awesome podcasts varying in so many different styles. So head on over to projectnerd.com/podcasts to check out more than a dozen active podcasts. One's got to be there for you. Well, one's got to be suited for you, probably better. All right. We bid you adieu, everybody. Let's wave ourselves out. And that's